So here it is, the Bruce Springsteen box set. Just arrived, haven't played any of it yet, so I thought we would open it up the same way that I opened up the Beatles box a couple of months ago. Let's see what we got. First of all, I took off the shrink wrap. This comes on the outside. This is going to drive some collectors crazy because there's no place to put it in the box. But anyway, there's some interesting information on here. So this is volume 1. It covers 73 to 84. So it's got Asbury Park, The Wild, The Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle, Born to Run, the Breakout album, Darkness on the Edge of Town, The River, Nebraska, and Born in the USA. So that's what this set covers. And starting here, I would like to talk about the technology involved in this box, because the master tapes, such that there were, not all of them were on analog tape. The River was mixed directly to Sony 1600 PCM. Yummy! Not really. But the ones that were tape were transferred to digital using a process called plangent. And this was developed by Jamie Howarth, who I met at an AES convention some years ago, and he told me all about it, and he sent me some Grateful Dead live concerts that he had processed. And so what this process does is when analog tape runs over a tape head, there's certain kinds of scrape, wow, and flutter caused by the friction of the head and the tape running against it. By putting it in the digital domain, he can run his program and correct for those issues, and in his opinion, produce something that sounds better than if it was mastered from the analog tape directly. So that's going to be one of the interesting things to note on this box set, because it's on vinyl, but it was transferred to digital using the plangent program, and then Bob Ludwig did his magic, and then he sent the files to Chris Bellman at Bernie Grundman's, who cut the lacquers, and the lacquers were sent to MPO in France. It was pressed in France. So we'll see how good MPO did. That's not a plant that's been used that often to do these box sets, but we'll see. At any rate, you also get the whole box set as an MP3 download if you want to have it, so you can take it on your iPod or your phone. So that's that. So let's have a look at the box. It's a very nice box set in terms of the presentation here. It's a faux road case, finished in a kind of nice grainy material. It actually is got the grain to it, and these stickers are actually put on here. I mean, at least that's the feeling it is. However they did it, it really feels quite real. It's stuck on, and there's backstage passes and all that kind of fun stuff. That I gotta tell you a story. So you know, Bruce, I'm talking to you from New Jersey, and Bruce is huge in New Jersey, just as our governor is huge, and losing some weight. But and the two of them didn't get along too well, but now apparently they do. But so I heard from a neighbor of mine who told me this story, that one of their neighbors' children went to the same private school as Bruce's kid. And this is one town over from where I live. So Bruce had to drop the kid off at the parents' house. And, you know, because, look, these are people we're talking about here. We're not talking about, you know, something godly. I mean, musically maybe on stage. So Bruce drove over and dropped these people's kid off. And, of course, they were thrilled to meet Bruce Springsteen, who wouldn't be in a situation like that. And he had to relieve himself. So he went upstairs and relieved himself. And either he forgot to flush, or it didn't go down. Whatever the case, they went upstairs afterwards, and somebody went to use the bathroom. And there, in the toilet, was a Bruce Springsteen turd. So what do? Now, you know, look, you normally flush it, right? But there was a little bit of hesitation there. And then, do we sell it on eBay. I mean, I swear, that's the story I was told. I think it's pretty funny. Okay, let's get back to the box set, shall we? So, take the top off, and we see, we got, now, of course, these albums came out at a point in time when packaging was not so, it wasn't like the Beatles box set where the earlier albums with the fold-over, and they had to be fold-over jackets for authenticity. These were the later style where the printing was right on the paper, but they do give you the fold-over there. And inside is, for those of you old enough to remember, Columbia Records had, there was a lot of words in the 60s, the late 60s and 70s, a lot of words. So this was the inner sleeve, the new artist special issue. Columbia Records used to, edited by Murray Krugman. You know Murray Krugman from Blue Oyster Cult? Anyway, there's a thing about new groups on the label. Loggins and Messina, the Rowan Brothers, Alan Davies, some of you may know him as a British guy, Manna, Mark Almond, Gentle Giant, Loudon Wainwright III. Anyway, you could also send in a little coupon here to Columbia Records, and they would borrow yours. Mott the Hoople, All the Young Dudes. I mean, this was a who else? Azteca, Earth, Wind and Fire, West, Bruce and Lang. That was an interesting group, and of course Jack Sheckman, who I don't know what happened to Jack Sheckman. But anyway, that's what happens with music. So that's the first album, and then let's just take a look at the pressing and see what NPO did with the record. I can see the Chris Bellman mark on here, and I can also see NPO, so that's how I know it. It looks very nice from my physical inspection here. No dimples, no wavy, looks like a cake that's been frosted, which you get from occasionally from one of the less great pressing plants in America. This looks very good, and it looks flat. So that's that. So let's go to the next record and see what we got. And again, these albums in terms of the packaging is not going to be an event like the Beatles, as long as they were done correctly and the right numbers are on here. And there's no barcode, no mark of the devil, okay, which is always a good sign. Let's see. The Wild, the Innocent, the E Street Shuffle. Very nicely done. They really did a good job with the cover art. It's very, very well done. Very authentic. There's nothing in here in terms of special inserts, but it's very well done for Bruce fans. All right, and then we get to this one. Now, of course, you know there was a run of these albums that came out where they spelled John Landau's name John, and that was those were collectible at one point. I doubt they're so collectible now. Again, very nice artwork, well done. And let's just take a look at this record. So again, Chris Bellman, and it looks very nicely done. So what I'm going to do with this record, Classic Records reissue this on vinyl from the original tape. Bernie Grundman cut it from the original tape, and I've got that record. I'm not going to compare it to this. So we'll have an all-analog record from Bernie Grundman versus the plangent system that improves the quality, the sound of the tape by removing scrape, flutter, and other anomalies in vinyl tape playback. And what's really critical in doing this, in doing these transfers, is the quality of the playback machine, the quality of the electronics, and how well the tape machine has been set up, especially in terms of the azimuth, which is the angle at which the head kisses the tape. And I know that Jamie and the gentleman that helped him, whose name is John Chester, I believe. Let's see if I got that right. I don't want to get this wrong because I don't plan on editing this, okay? No. John Chester, yeah, and thanks to Sonicraft, Freehold, New Jersey. They tried to keep it in New Jersey, all right? So we'll compare that. That'll be an interesting comparison. Darkness on the Edge of Town, which we used to humorously call Dog Mess on the Edge of Town. And it's got an insert with the lyrics. It's got This was Bruce when he was in his kind of Al Pacino looking stage, I think. Now he kind of looks like Tony Bennett. I kind of confuse him with Tony Bennett, sort of, you know. And that's a pretty good comparison, you know. If his career can go on as long as Tony, and that's pretty good. Okay, so here's the River. Now I've got an original pressing of the River over here. That you know how a Fanatic keeps it. If there's a sticker on it, well, you keep it in the shrink wrap. So this one has the shrink wrap, and I'm looking at these two. You can see there's a slight difference in the black levels or the white levels. You see, so the original is a little browner. This is a little more black and white. I don't know which is more correct, and I don't really care. I don't think it matters. Okay. All the inserts are in it, and let's just pull out the reissue. Take a look. So it's got, even though they've got it in a nice rice paper insert sleeve, they've got the original inner jackets, and this now. That is the power station, which is now Avatar Studios in New York. Still there, just like that. I was there recently where I met Al Schmidt. Al Schmidt is a fantastic guy, the recording engineer. Al Schmidt recorded everybody from Frank Sinatra to the Jefferson Airplane to recently a female singer named Lynn Stanley, and he's done everything, and he's a great guy, and he's such a character. He talks like this. Listen, Michael, if you're going to be in LA, give me a call, and you'll come over to the studio. I'll show you Capitol Studios. And, you know, sometimes people, they do say things like that. I'll come on over, and I'll take you on a tour. Then you get there, and you call them, and they go, who are you? Who are you again? I landed in LA after I met him, and I opened my phone, and there was an email from Al. Are you coming? Are you here? And, you know, he's just a great guy, and I think he got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and man, he deserves it. He's one of the greatest recording engineers. Love the guy. Okay, so let's see. So that looks good. Looks authentic. It's got all the real stuff. Because getting the real stuff back in the jacket sometimes, you know what? I think I put it in the wrong one. That's the problem. I put it in the wrong one. All right, I'll deal with this later because I messed it up. All right, and then we have the one recorded to cassette tape. And I would suspect that the Plangent system could do, if they still have the cassette tape, but they probably don't. But in any case, there's probably a lot of correction that could be done to this one. And here's an original of this one. This one, look, they had barcode. This copy has a barcode, so it's, but this doesn't. So my copy must be not an original. And then we have Born in the USA, which of course was completely misconstrued as being 100% patriotic, which it was patriotic, but it was a protest song actually. It's I think it was one of Bruce's stronger songs like that. Insert is in there. This is all really well, from what I'm seeing here, this is all really well presented. And now we get to the book. So here's the book. It's not a hardcover book, but let's see. Okay, cool. So what it is it's a scrapbook. And it actually, this is really smart. It looks like it's been scotch taped. I mean, it's got shiny where the tape is. It's shiny. However they did that. And the Greetings from Asbury Park is glossy. And you know, whether this is actually Bruce Springsteen's scrapbook that was reproduced or one that somebody else put together, it looks really, really cool. So, of course, they're the critical reviews of the records, and Bill Graham presents Blood, Sweat, and Tears with Bruce Springsteen opening act. Stevie Wonder for 2 nights, Bette Midler, My Vision Orchestra, and Frank Zappa. Now that is an eclectic group to be playing at Bill Graham's. Let's see what else. It's funny. It says, as soon as someone says this guy is the next Bob Dylan, you're dead. That's a Bruce quote, and that's true. Don't compare anybody to Bob Dylan. Don't compare anybody to anybody. Just let an artist be whatever they are. And although I have to say, sometimes when I do a review, I say if you like something or other, you might like that, but that's different. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Let's see who the artists are. Stu Werbin, who I happen to know. Lester Bangs, the great Lester Bangs, reviewed Greetings from Asbury Park. Well, I'm not going to read it now. Great pictures, some advertising. Ken Emerson, who I know. This looks like it was from the Boston Phoenix, the Ken Emerson review that he wrote for the Phoenix. Bruce Springsteen's Upright debut album sounded like Subterranean Homesick Blues played at 78 RPM, a typical 5-minute track bursting with more words than this review. Most of it didn't make sense, but that was the point. Oh, really? Okay. Bruce Springsteen at Joe's Place in Inman Square, Cambridge. That's where Bruce. I was living in Boston at the time. That's where he made this tremendous impact on the locals in Boston. I mean, that really broke him in Boston, as I remember it. Let's see. Yeah, this looks like, for any Springsteen fan to see a scrapbook like this, which whoever put it together, there's tickets. The Bottom Line Cabaret. Well, it's too bad that place is no longer. Dave Marsh. Stage pictures. Talent in action. Bottom Line. Goes through all the stuff. And then let's see what is going on here. So of course, 76 was the year of Born to Run. That's what really broke Bruce Springsteen beyond the cult crowd. It really was the breakout album that they felt had to happen for him to really take off, and it did. Let's see what else is here. Then he got the cover of Newsweek and Time magazine. So, that means you're finished. No, okay. Let's see. Paul Nelson, the late Paul Nelson. I knew him. He was actually, Paul Nelson worked for Mercury Records and A&R, and he was actually for a short time Bob Dylan's roommate in college. Amazingly. Okay, what else? At any rate, it goes through. There's enough to chew on here for any Springsteen fan. I think you can listen to the whole set, and I don't think you get through this if you really want to read all the reviews and all the things that were said. The Dave Marsh review. Anyway, great pictures. You can't read all the reviews because a lot of them are covered over because it's done up as a scrapbook. There's the infamous recorder that was used on Nebraska. It's a TIAC, I think. It's got Dolby. Robert Hilburn, the calendar section of the LA Times. Record Magazine. Anthony DeCurtis. So, all the big name rock, Kurt Loder, all the big name rock critics chimed in. Chet Flippo. And here's the LA Memorial Coliseum to see the Born to Run, the Born in the USA tour. I was there for that. I saw that with my friend Bud Scapa. We went. We had good seats because he was bigwig in the music biz and bigwig writer. At that point in time, we were just friends. I did a little writing for him in Music Connection magazine. So that was a pretty memorable concert. And that's where the box ends. And again, it's a really nice presentation. The records look well pressed. And we're going to find out soon whether Jamie Howarth's planchant technology really produces fantastic sounding records. So as soon as we have a chance to listen to them, they will be reviewed on analogplanet.com.